I bet you back pay won't be until 2026.
Boom.
All I hear is talking, I don't sweat that. If they don't trust me either, I respect that. If she be down the ride, oh, I bet that.
I want you to make a pledge to your people that you will never tell them a pretty lie, but you'll always tell the ugly truth.
Sometimes the truth is pretty, but if it's ugly, it's gonna be ugly.
It's a
That's just
serious
gonna be
thing.
what
I'd
it is.
rather hear the ugly truth than a pretty lie. Some people don't want to hear that because, you know, it's all about feelings and you know, people's feelings get hurt. Look, man, I tried. I did my best. You know, I went to bat. I almost lost my goddamn job. I tried to go for $35 an hour. I was shooting for 35. They only offered us 28. I mean, any one of y'all want to come? You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Here's
let
where
it
we're
be
at.
known. Say this is the ugly truth. Or, hey man, management is the one that screwed us. No, you know what I'm saying? Don't sit there and throw it back at somebody else. The ugly truth is always better than the pretty lie because people give us, I mean, it's a New York thing, a Chicago thing. They give you respect. I mean, you're a little more brash. We're brash, but I'd rather be brash than have people, you know, think that I'm a fraud or a fake.
Right.
So that's kind of where, you know, the members are. These younger generations are going to be the ones that throw their vote out for you. And they have to feel like their voice is being heard.
That following Sunday, February the 2nd, by then we should have the results of the tentative agreement. And
Oof.
so, listen, on the tentative agreement, we don't know what the result is going to be, but the vibe and what a lot of people are saying is that we're going to vote this thing down. I hope that's the outcome because I think we can do better. And assuming that is the outcome, the next step is going to be how do we make sure that President Renfro knows, because he's still going to be the president and he's still going to be over the collective bargaining process. How does President Renfro know what we want to get out of this contract? So the next thing we're working on in the campaign is to put out information so that I don't want to say exactly what it is because we haven't finalized the plans yet, but it's going to be some way where the members themselves, each individual member and the branches can communicate to President Renfro in real time and say, here's the things that I want you to fight for, and here's the things we want to try to get out of these arbitration hearings that will take place if we vote this contract down. And then,
wait, I want to interrupt you. So just to be clear, if it gets voted down, the next step is what?
Two things. One, to present what our demands are for a contract or what are our desires. And what we're thinking about doing, like I said, we haven't finalized it, but we're going to give you some options of things that may be important to you, and you'll be able to rank them and you'll be able to say, these are the things that are important to me, you know, that kind of thing. Just so, because, you know, President Renfro, to me, is, you know, and I'm not trying to take a shot, but I think he's a little bit out of touch with the members of the union, you know, because he thought that this tentative agreement was going to be acceptable to the members, and maybe it will be. If it is acceptable to the members and we ratify the contract, and, you know, then there's no need for step, you know, 2 and 3, right? That's the will of the members, and that's what we get. But if the members do vote this thing down, like I think we're going to, and I think we should, if it does, then the next step is to make sure that he knows what we need him to fight for, because, like I say, he thought that this tentative agreement was sufficient, and if we deem it not to be sufficient, then we need to tell him, here's what we would, you know, would be acceptable to us out of a contract. That's one. The second thing is,
how long do y'all have after it's voted down?
dude, a lot of people ask that question, and there's no set time frame. If I was the president, I would be setting up those arbitration dates right now, but they haven't done that yet. So,
oh my God,
yeah, they haven't done that. You know, we were told.
I thought it was 14 days. I
No,
thought they had.
so there's 15 days. What it says is that they reopen negotiations for a period of 15 days, and then after the 15 days are over, the president can basically take us out on strike or take us to arbitration, which we already know he's going to take us to arbitration, which is fine. You know, that's what the process is. So we know after the 15 days, then we're going to go to arbitration. But at that time, now you got to solicit dates from the arbitrator because you haven't done that already. I would have already solicited the dates and had him block out his calendar. They told us that they selected this neutral arbitrator, Dennis Nolan. They selected him a full year ago in January of
remember that.
2023. So if you selected this arbitrator already, you should have already been communicating with him and saying, okay, what's your calendar looking like? Because if they vote this thing down, look, a lot of my members are saying they're going to vote no. You know, if I'm the president, I would have to be honest and say, you know, I thought I did a good job, but a lot of my members are saying they're going to vote this thing down. Let's be prepared and let's make sure that we get this thing to arbitration as soon as possible. And I think that's one of the things we need to make sure it's very clear to our president. You need to move this thing along, man. This thing has taken way too long. You've allowed the Postal Service to hold on to our money, our raises, our back pay, interest on our back pay. You know, you're letting the Postal Service just keep all of our money. And we need you to really move this thing along. It should have been done May 20th of 2023. So that's another thing that we're going to have to do. But just organizing that in a way that the members of the union can step forward and be a part of that is going to be important. So we're going to do that. And then the second thing, I'm looking at having a national day of action. And I want to get APW involved in that because you guys still don't have a contract, correct?
Yeah, but we going for, was it October? So we had November, December. We're about 10 weeks in.
Well, the day of action would be for everyone. You know, different unions want to support us, and what we're looking for, we want a post office that serves the American people. We want a post office that is faster, not slower. We want a post office where you have, you know, the letter carriers and the people out there serving the community as a service to the American people. And we want a job on our end that pays us a decent middle class pay and treats us with dignity and respect in the workplace. And so that's what I think we want to have a day of action and mobilization around. And the idea I have is to march and have rallies in different cities wherever people are available. But we have one in Washington, D.C., and we go from NELC headquarters, 100 Indiana Avenue, to USPS headquarters in LaFlante Plaza. And guess what the distance is between NELC headquarters and USPS headquarters?
1.3%.
1.3 miles.
Boom.
It's exactly 1.3 miles. And that's wild, man. So you know, we have to put that together maybe for a Sunday or something like that. So anyway, that's just some of the things in the works. But the first thing is Minneapolis, January 28th. Then the roast on February 2nd. I hope everyone can participate. Look, if I want to have a legitimate campaign for president of the union, I'm going to have to raise a significant amount of money. So this is kind of a test to see if you guys, you know, you want in on this. You know, if you like what I'm saying and you want me to go forward, you know, we're not asking for a lot of money. $20.26, you know, to get in on the roast on the live stream. It's not a lot of money. Hopefully, you know, I know times are tough for everybody, but if you can, you know, we're going to try to put on a great product for you. It's going to be hilarious, hopefully. But you know, it'll be a donation to the campaign. So
transparency with the union is obviously A1. That was the ugly truth. That is, it's going to take some time with that arbitrator. Obviously, you said it's about 15 days before he picks an arbitrator, or they decide whether or not they go to arbitration, and then they have to select a date, and the date could be at any given time. Is that correct?
Well, and I don't think we're locked into Dennis Nolan. I mean, normally when you say I selected an arbitrator or the parties have agreed on an arbitrator, that means that you went to that person and you had them look at their calendar and, you know, you said, okay, because I don't think you would, at least I wouldn't select an arbitrator who wasn't available. So before I agree to that selection of that arbitrator, I would make sure that they're available and, you know, sooner rather than later. So because that selection was made so long ago, if they do the 15 days, if we vote it down and then they do the 15 days of negotiations and that doesn't go anywhere, then you say, okay, now we're going to go to arbitration. Do you have to go back to that same arbitrator, Dennis Nolan? What if Dennis Nolan's not available? What if Dennis Nolan says the first day I have available is not until the summertime? I would think at that point you could say, well, that's okay. We're going to get an arbitrator that's available. I don't know. But I don't know what the negotiations have been or what the agreement has been between our union and the Postal Service. So I couldn't speak on that. But assuming there's not an agreement, a contract or whatever, then maybe they'll pick another arbitrator, or if not, then they'll go back to the same arbitrator, and then they'll solicit dates and that kind of thing. Most arbitrators, they're doing their calendar about 3 months, 4 months into the future. So you start soliciting dates in February, you're probably not going to get dates until May, June. They're probably going to need 2 or 3 months to do all the hearings because you're going to have different dates and that kind of thing. So, and then there is no time frame, defined time frame for the arbitrator to give you a result. So we're looking at in the fall, probably before we would get an actual arbitration decision. But like I said, we need to move this thing along as much as we can. And that means making sure that the arbitrator is going to be available, as soon as possible. They should be working on that right now, but I don't think they are, but they should be.
Did you say fall? We talking about damn near October?
Yeah.
September, October.
Unfortunately, that's what it's looking like. And I mean,
This is
that's
the time
horrible.
you tell me a pretty lie.
I wish I could, man.
Oh man. I used to say this on my channel just to give them a heads up and say, hey, it doesn't even matter. If you guys do this, you're not going to see your money until, even if you vote yes, you won't start seeing your money till damn near the end of June, July, August. Now, if this gets voted down, you're not going to start seeing your money till you're back. If it goes through,
I bet you back pay won't be until 2026.
boom.
But you know what? One thing that we would be able to insist on if we go to arbitration is interest on that back pay. There's no legitimate reason why the post office should be able to hold on to that money without paying us interest at the federal judgment rate for that money. It's in the Elm 436. Interest on back pay is in when there's a settlement within the Postal Service is in there, and I think that's something we can get. So we got to wait a little bit longer, but I think we'll end up with more money.
Unexpected expenses stressing you out? Get the money you need now with Loans for Feds, a program designed specifically for federal employees. Bad credit is not a problem. Application is fast and easy with same-day approvals. Apply now.